What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to do a review of the Rogue One film that came out 24 hours ago because it's midnight now and I've just sort of only come back from seeing it. Obviously I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan from the shirt and the poster and the mouse mat, so I was very keen to go and see this film, and I'll give you my genuine honest opinion on it and we'll get started. Alright, so overall I think the film was a very good film. Lots of people were perhaps giving it a bit of shit, saying that there was a lot wrong with it. I don't think there was a lot wrong with it. I think there was a couple of things wrong with it. I think perhaps maybe they could have done a bit more with the story. The characters were memorable. I did like all characters, although there was one character in the form of that fucking robot, which was there purely for comic relief purposes, but he was actually better than Jar Jar Binks because he actually did something towards the final goal in which things are achieved. This is the non-spoiler section. This is the spoiler-free half, right? So it's going to be split into spoiler and spoiler-free. Okay, so start off with the spoiler-free stuff. Good film. I would recommend going and watching it, whether you have just started watching Star Wars or whether you have been a Star Wars fan since the very beginning. Definitely go and watch it because it does fill in some of the gaps from the other films, which obviously if you've never gone and seen it before, all the others, all seven, go and see all seven. Don't do what the person 3 seats away from me did, which was not have his girlfriend go and see it, and then decide to explain to her the entire backstory of Star Wars over the film. Some of the most dramatic, heartfelt, gut-wrenching, tear-jerking moments, and then there's just this dude telling his girlfriend about who Darth Vader is. Go and see the film! That's exactly what I did with my girlfriend. When we had episode 7 about to drop, I made her go and see all of them, like a terrible person that I am. But she actually did, and she was very sweet about that, so thank you very much. Yeah, she went and saw all the films just so she knew what the context was. Ask questions afterwards, don't ask questions in the middle of the film. And I'm kind of rambling now. But anyway, we've gone off. Alright, now we're going to head back onto the Kepler run. Most of you don't know that. Alright, so basically a team is assembled through weird circumstances in order to go and steal the plans for Death Star and send them to the Rebel Alliance. That is the entire plot of the film, and it doesn't get much denser than that. Now here's the spoiler part. Basically, Jyn Erso, who is the main character, another main female character in the Star Wars franchise, I feel like perhaps they're forcing them on us a bit. The fact that it's been all guys the entire time, it's been completely focused around the men, and suddenly there's just women characters appearing from everywhere, people probably getting added in for purely diversity reasons, and there's not much substance to it. Mon Mothma's a big part of it, and I know she would be, and Princess Leia's in it for a couple of seconds. I feel like this film, even though it's kind of a standalone, it relies a lot on nostalgia in order to get people to feel excited for it. The fact that Darth Vader was in it for 5 seconds is what got everyone talking on the entire internet. You see Princess Leia for the space of about 2 seconds. You see R2-D2 and C-3PO for literally 4 seconds, where C-3PO obviously complains because he doesn't do anything else. Senator Bail Organa's in it for a little bit. He talks about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Tatooine and the fact that he needs to go and send him in order to get the mission. And it's just, I feel like it does rely a lot on nostalgia in order to get it to feel exciting, which should not be the case. However, I would say that all of the people who were cast in those roles, the young looking Princess Leia obviously didn't get Carrie Fisher because she looks about 50 bajillion years old, and the Grand Moff Tarkin lookalike, because sadly Peter Cushing is deceased, but they were very similar looking. If you got 2 pictures of them next to each other, you probably wouldn't be able to tell, especially if you were younger and you were just getting into this. But anyway, we're going to head back onto the story now. So Jyn Erso is a key figure in this. Her father is the creator of the Death Star, and he does actually create the fault. That's what's always made sense in the Star Wars films, that they finally managed to explain that away, and the fact that the main creator, Death Star director, whatever the fuck he's called, I can't remember, he's not really a memorable villain, just does shit and it's not really helpful in any way, he just kind of runs around and yells orders at people. But that's about it, really. That's the entire substance of the plot. Oh yeah, and everyone dies. Every single character that you see introduced into this movie will die. That is the biggest spoiler you can see. Like of the entire film. I pretty much ruined the entire film. Every new character that's introduced, Jin, the like Mexican sniper dude, the pilot who says, "What's your call sign?" "Oh, it's Rogue." He dies. The blind guy dies. He was probably my favourite character in the entire film. He was not very dense of a character. He didn't have any backstory at all. He's basically just a monk that they meet on this planet Judah, and he's just such a funny character. He's a good character, and he is the one who believes in the Force, and he is the one where you feel like you can believe what he's thinking all the time, because he has lots of references to the Force, and he is constantly doing this, "I'm one with the Force is one with me," and he's just kind of walking around as this heavy guy who basically just has all the weapons, and he ends up dying like a blaze of glory. And the droid, who, as I said before, was kind of a Jar Jar Binks type, he provided a lot, if not all, of the comedy relief in the entire film, which would have kept like the 8-year-olds happy. He ends up dying as well. He ends up sacrificing himself in a really badass way, actually. It changed my opinion on him in the end. I was really pissed off with him up until that point, because he was just kind of being really fucking annoying. But then he did kind of turn into this character who was sort of a hero, and he did die in an awesome way. So everyone dies, pretty much. All the rebels that head down, there's like rebels sent as a backup in order to assist them. They all get squished by the Empire, and the Death Star, they use a little bit of functionality, because obviously they can't go into past episode 4, because that's the first time the Death Star's properly used to destroy Alderaan, so they have to go back, and they say, "Oh, we'll do it where they fire a tiny little bit on the surface," and it kind of creates a nuke sort of effect. And that basically just killed everyone. That killed Jin and the Mexican guy, who kind of had a little bit of a spark between them, but obviously there was no romantic connection, because women aren't allowed to fall for men in movies anymore. Anyway, Darth Vader is in it for probably about 2 minutes of screen time, and he was probably the thing which I thought of the most, which is probably not the best thing to have in a film, and to come out of it and say, "Oh yeah, I really like that bit at the end where Darth Vader ignites his lightsaber and then just fucking massacres a load of rebels who are kind of just there like, 'Help us, help, open the door so Darth Vader can let us in and kill more people.'" And then you see Princess Leia at the end, and it's like, "Do you know what these plans are?" And she goes, "Hope." And then that's the end. That's it. That's literally it. Honestly, I would give it 3 out of 5 stars, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 3.5. If I could give halves, I would go 3.5 stars. It's a good film. I enjoyed the visuals. It was great. It expanded on the Star Wars story. It had a lot of good characters who were decent, and who weren't forgettable. They weren't forgettable, honestly. I do remember them all. I just don't remember the names, because most of them are really complicated. I didn't hear them say each other's names very often. The story was just not dense enough for me. It was too one-dimensional. It was just kind of, we've got to be here, we've got to be here, we've got to be here. Oh, there's Death Star plans. Oh, let's go do this, let's do that, let's do that. It just moved way too quick, but it was a good film, and I would advise you going to see it whether you are a fan of Star Wars or not, because if you are a fan of Star Wars, you will definitely enjoy this for nostalgia reasons, and also because it expands on the story. If you've never seen it before, then it's a good place to start, because technically it's the first in the timeline, because it comes before the 4th one, which is after the 3rd one, which is actually a prequel to the 4th one, and it's all topsy-turvy right now. If you're going to watch them, I'd recommend watching 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is how I would recommend you watch them. Watch them in chronological order, because it makes more sense. If you watch it in the order they were made, you might end up getting confused, especially if you don't watch them in one sitting. If you watch them in one sitting, you can watch 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, but it might not make as much sense by the end, probably because you've been watching for 15 hours and you're sleep deprived. But anyway, this video has gone on long enough now, so I'm going to end it there, and just say thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, do hit a like, because the YouTube algorithm is broken. If you hit a like, I will obviously go to the top of the subscriber feed. That's what happens. It goes all the way to the top. I will be on the trending page, and I will have 1 billion subscribers. No, but seriously, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like. I'm not going to beg for likes. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't like it, just ignore the video. You probably wouldn't be watching the video this much if you didn't like it. So there you go. If you guys want me to do more film reviews on films which are coming out, I did watch Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but I didn't do a review because I saw it a bit late. This film I saw, like, as I said, 24 hours after it came out, so it's kind of trending, it's kind of around and stuff. So if you guys want me to do more film reviews, then I will definitely consider doing more. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.